पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दैताय कृपाप्तये कृष्णसम्बन्धविख्यान धन्ये प्रभवे नमः माधुर्यज्वलप्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिद श्रीगौरकरुणा शक्तिविग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ति दीनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तध्वान्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बर संबोधि पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने स्वशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमिस्त्वं निर्देशा सच्चनप्रिय वैष्णवसार्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते पाञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमपदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरकृषे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपः स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यां नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोस्तुते जयतां श्रुतौ पङ्गुर्मम वन्दे मतिर्गति मत्सर्वसपदाम्बोजौ श्रीराधां नमोहनो दिव्यद्वृन्दारण्यं कल्पाद्रुमाद श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधाक्षीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानस्मरामि श्रीमान् राससारम्भी वंशीवतत्रस्थितः कर्षन्वेणुदलैः समेत गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तुनः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So today we'll try to complete the whole 9th chapter. Super fast speed we have to go. Then we will have time to do the revision. My voice is gone now. Okay. 22nd verse, the most important verse. Ananyasyantayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. These two words, yoga, shemaha, they both are very important words. Yoga means I'll eternally connect the devotees with me. See what a beautiful promise Krishna gives. I will eternally connect them with me. And Shema means he will prevent their separation from me. These two words are very important. You can note it down. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan gives this commentary. Yoga means connection. Shema means prevention from separation. That means how much love Krishna has, just see, for the devotees. Name bhakta pranashyati, Krishna says. My devotees will never perish. For that, what Krishna is giving? These two promises. Yoga, shemam. Yoga, connection. Shemam, prevention from separation. But this is for whom? Ananyasyantayantam. Whoever is remembering Krishna, ananyaha. Ananyaha means always. Not that today I came to the temple and I just wrote something, Hare Krishna, then I forgot. Ananyash. Unalloyed devotional service. Who doesn't have any other goal except Krishna. For him, goal is Krishna. Taking shelter of Krishna. Ananyas chintayantam. Ye janha paryupasate. Such a person who is doing upasana to me, who don't know anybody except me. For them, Krishna has taken this call. Desham nityabhiyuktanam. Nityabhiyuktanam. Nitya abhiyuktanam. So that means he's always absorbed in Krishna. He's always absorbed in Krishna. That means he's always thinking about Krishna. For him, Krishna give this two promises. Yoga, Shemam. I will connect him to me after all the time. It is eternally you will be connected to me. I will prevent the separation from me. Very beautiful verse. So then the purport Srila Prabhupada says, one of you can read, Anubama.
Unmute करिए माता जी.
Hari Bol. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
You're so absorbed in Krishna that you forgot to unmute.
Yeah, from translation, yeah? Mm. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Purport. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day. Being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga by the mercy of Lord. Such a devotee never makes come back to this material condition of life. Shema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. And when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to miserable conditioned life. Hare Krishna.
So two meanings. Shema means prevention from fall down, prevention from separation. Srila Prabhupada says prevention from fall down. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan says prevention from separation. Both have the same meaning. If somebody falls down naturally, he will be separated. If somebody is prevented from separation, that means he is prevented from fall down. 23rd verse. Ye penya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mamiva kaunteya yajantya vidipurvakam. Avidipurvakam. Avidipurvakam means it is a wrong way. What is wrong way? Ye, you have any doubt, Anupama?
Yes, Mataji. If you read shlokas a bit slowly, so even we can pronounce together, so it's more easier. Thank you.
ये प्यन्य देवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यः विधिपूर्वकम्. Actually it is yajanti avidipurvakam, but when you are chanting yajantyah vidipurvakam. So ye pyanya devata bhakta, that means ye api anya devata bhakta. There are people who are worshipping other demigods. Now just few verses before Krishna says, I am only the different form. That means even Devat, I am only different forms. That means Krishna recognizes himself with the Devata, they are non-different from me. Then why here Krishna says, if a person is worshipping Anya Devataha, Shraddhayanvitaha, that too with faith only. Tepi Mameva Kaunteya. Actually they are worshipping me, Krishna says. But still, Krishna is considering such type of worship as wrong. It's a wrong way. So Krishna is telling that they are actually worshipping me only. Because Krishna has told everything is me. All the forms are me only. I am only fire, I am only Rega, I am only Jora, I am Omkara, I am everything. I Krishna has told 16th verse to 19th verse. Why Krishna says this is a wrong way? Because while they are worshipping, they don't have any inclination to serve Krishna. They are not aware also. Some awareness should be there. Okay, I'm worshipping Ganesha. With the awareness that Ganesha is servant of Krishna, then that is nothing wrong. But I'm worshipping Ganesha, considering Ganesha to be God, then that is wrong. Though the worship is going to Krishna only. Was last what you say? Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatana va prakte svabhava karomi adya sakalam parasmai narayanayadi samarpayami. Everything actually goes to Narayana. How many of you are not aware of this shloka? Okay, Anupama is aware?
We read last, what I guess.
Yeah. So anyhow, in the last, everything is Narayanayadi samarpayami. But Krishna says, only when the person has this consciousness. If he is not having the consciousness, it is a wrong. Ye pyanya devata bhakta. Though he is worshipping, yajante shraddhayanvitaha, with all shraddha. Depi mameva kunte. It is actually coming to me, but but I consider this is wrong. Yajanti, yajanti avidhi purvakam. Okay, Krishna Priya Mataji, please read.
येऽप्यन्यदा देवता भक्त्या भजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय भजन्त्या विधिपूर्वकम्.
Read translation purport.
Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Purport. Persons who are engaged in the worship of demigods are not very intelligent. Although such worship is offered to me indirectly, Krishna says. For example, when a man pours water on the leaves and branches of a tree without pouring water on the root, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing regulative principles. Similarly, the process of rendering service to different parts of the body is to supply food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different offers and directions in the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directions of the Lord. The officers and directions are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated here as avidhi purvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please hold 1 minute. Ami sarvayajnana bhokta cha prabhurev cha tatu mama vijananti tatvena dashyavanti te. Ahami sarvayajnana bhokta cha prabhurev cha न तु मां भिजानन्ति तत्त्वेन तश्चयन् तत्त्वेन तश्च्यवन्ति ते. It's a very important verse. This is the answer for the previous one. Why Krishna says, even though they are worshipping me, that is aviti purvakam. Because abhijananti tattve natascha. They are not knowing, abhijananti, they don't know. Nattu mam abhijananti, na abhijananti. They don't know. What they don't know? Tattvena ataha javanti te. Tattvena. They don't know this tattva. Which tattva? Which truth? Aham hi sarvayakyanam. I am the enjoyer, bhokta of all the sacrifices. Aham hi sarvayakyanam bhokta. Bhoktaram yakyatapasam. In the 5th chapter, we had Bhoktaram yakyatapasam. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Suhridam Sarvabhutana. Gyatva Mam Shantim Pruchati. So, Bhoktaram Yagya. Bhoktaram Tapasam. Both. For Karmi, performing sacrifices is one of the way. Every Karmi wants to perform a karma called sacrifice. But he should know that Bhoktaram is Krishna. But this person, Natu Mam Abhijananti, Tattvena Taschyavanti te. What happens? Chavanti means he falls down. That is why there is a fall down. And also he is not knowing this tattva that Krishna is Prabhu. Aham hi Prabhu. Aham hi Bhakta Bhoktaram. So these two tattvas are not known. That is why such a person who is interested in worshipping the devatas, ye pen devataha bhaktaha, though he is worshipping with Shraddha, this line is not known. That first line is not known of the 24th verse. Aham hi sarvayakyanam bhokta cha prabhur evacha. That is why natu mama vijananti tattvena taschya vantite. Okay. Okay. Ashoka Nija Prabhu, you can read the verse and read the whole translation in purpose.
Hare Krishna. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhoktachar prabhure vacha natu mam abhijananti tatvena taschyavanti te. Translation.
Natu
mam abhijananti tatvena taschyavanti te. Translation. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Purport. Here it is clearly stated that there are many types of yagna performances recommended in the Vedic literatures, but actually all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yagna means Vishnu. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should only work for satisfying Yagna or Vishnu. The perfectional form of human civilization, known as Varnashrama Dharma, is specifically meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says in this verse, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices because I am the Supreme Master. Less intelligent persons, however, without knowing this fact, worship demigods for temporary benefit. Therefore, they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. Hare Krishna.
So in the previous section, we saw this one verse in the purport. Akamo sarvakamo va mokshakamo daritihi tivrena bhakti yogena jijetaha param purusha param. So this verse was there in the purport. I don't know how many of you remember. You can go to Krishna. Even if you have no desire, go to Krishna. Akamo, sarvakamo va. So many desires, multiple desires. still at least go to Krishna. But this person is going to the demigods. Though Krishna is there in the form of the demigods. Yes, Vandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have one query. Like in third chapter, Krishna is saying the person should at least worship the demigods. We should thank them for what they're providing us. Like,
Even you can worship now also, not a problem. But understanding the truth. What is that? Aham hi sarvayatyana bhoktacha prabhu. If you know the connection, every day when you're chanting Brahma Samhita, you are worshipping. You are worshipping Sun God also. You are worshipping Durga Ji also, Shiva also, worshipping Ganesha also, Brahma Ji also. Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Okay, mute your phones. Yes, Krishna Priya.
Whenever we do any pujas, any sloka, whatever we start with the Ganesha sloka. So
You should. Nothing wrong. So when a Vaishnava worships Ganesha, he actually worships Vishwakshena, who is the elephant form of Krishna and who gives the power to remove the impediments to Ganesha of this material world. For every demigod, there is a corresponding demigod in the eternal world who are Nitya Suris, from where they derive the power. There is an eternal Durga, eternal Saraswati. When we say Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam, which Saraswati? The Saraswati of the eternal world, who is always serving Krishna. So there is when a Vaishnava is worshipping a demigod, is actually worshipping Nityasuris, who are eternally serving and who are giving the energy to their reflection. Their reflection are or you can say their amshas, not reflections, amshas, expansions. Their expansions are the demigods who are taking control of this, or who are looking after the administration of this material world. That is why worshipping a demigod is not a problem, but with an understanding. That has been told. Okay. Now, what is the destination of the people worshipping the demigods? Intentionally, Krishna has given different destinations for different people. In everything, there is Krishna. But still, because they don't have proper understanding, okay, go different places. If they had proper understanding, the goal would have been Krishna Loka. Because understanding is not there, okay, go here, go there, go there. Okay, Anupama. This is the last question in between the class I'm going to take. After that, everything after. Yeah.
Sorry, Mataji, today is Nag Panchami, yeah? In India, everywhere, especially in North India, we pray to Lord Shiva and serve milk to the Salpas, yeah? And so how do we look at this situation? So where we stand here, should we do that, follow these things, like which is like being taught
See,
in family
when you
culture?
are when you are worshipping Krishna, you have worshipped everything. If you have not worshipped Krishna properly, you can do all this worship, not a problem. At least the faith will be there. There's nothing wrong. But if you're doing Krishna worship to such an extent, even the monthly Shrad is included. Actually, Shrad and all every month you should do. But Krishna says, Devarshi Bhutanam, Devarshi Bhuta Pranam Putranam, Naking Karonaya Municha Rajan. No more you are now ready. Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Patakartim. You are not ready means now you don't have to do separately. Everything has already come. Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanyam. Because you have taken shelter of me, you are no more indebted. But Sarvatmana. Not that just to avoid this, I will do chanting. After this also I will not do properly. Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanyam. Then you are no more indebted. Actually, one is indebted to the snakes also. Now, if you say snakes, they are not ordinary snakes. When you're worshipping, you're not worshipping an ordinary snake. You're actually worshipping Adishesha. Adishesha, who is the substratum, who is holding. Adishesha is non-different from Krishna. Balaram himself. This understanding is there. Worship. Go and worship all the snakes, not a problem. When you're seeing the snake, you should see the snake as Adishesha. Then in one place you will see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told his disciple, go and kill the snake. What is that? Enviousness. So snake is also the personification of enviousness. But when you are worshipping, you are not worshipping in that mode. You are worshipping as Adishesha. Like yesterday, Ajgar came in our new center. Nobody drew him out. Oh, wonderful. Adishesha has come. Where I was giving the class in the next room, Ajgar was sitting there. You know what is Ajgar? Python. It will not hunt, it will not go for the food. Open the mouth and swallow. And I exactly passing from there. They told Mataji, Ajgar is there. I started running.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yanti deva vrta devan, pitru yanti pitruvataha, bhutani yanti bhutija, yanti madhya jino pimam. So Krishna is telling, if you don't know all these things, if you don't know the tattvas, then what will happen? Who are worshipping devatas, they will go to Devaloka. Who are worshipping Pitru, they will go to Pitruloka. Who are worshipping the ghosts and the spirits, they will be born among them. But who is worshipping me, they'll come to me. So Krishna says, or in other words, who are worshipping these people with an understanding that Aham Bhokta, Aham Prabhu, will attain Krishna. So Yanti Deva Vrta Devan, Pitruyanti Pitruvataha, Bhutani Yanti Bhutecha, Yanti Madhya Jino Pimam. Okay. Narayan Prabhu, read. Narayan Damodar Das, where are you? He must be busy with, I think, Nayana Manjiri. Okay. Ansruti Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna. Yanti devrata deva Vrittiyan yanti putrika bhutani yanti
How you chanted that? Pitrunyanti, Pitrunyanti,
Pitrunyanti
Pitrutaha.
Pitrutaha Bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhya jino pimam. Translation also?
Mataji, I can read.
No, let Hansruti Prabhu read. Next verse.
Sloka.
Next verse. Yes, Hansruti Prabhu read the translation purport.
Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who worship the demigod will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. Purport. If one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, or any other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following specific Vedic principles recommended for that purpose, such as the process technically known as Darsha Puranamasi. Darsha Puranamasi. These are
Darsha
Purnamasi. These are vividly described in the fruitive activities portion of the Vedas, which recommends a specific worship of demigods situated on different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain Pita planets by performing specific yajna. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become Yaksha, Raksha, or Pishacha. Pishacha worship is called black arts or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art and they think that it is spiritualism. But such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieves the planets of Vaikuntha, Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if by simply worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pitas achieve Pita planets, or by practicing the black arts achieve the ghostly planet. Why can Why can the pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live. And because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalists fall down from the Brahmajyoti. The Krishna conscious movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
26th verse. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparutam ashnami priyatatmanah. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparutam ashnami priyatatmanah. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Krishna says offer all these four. If you don't have anything, at least offer a leaf. If you don't have leaf, at least offer a flower. Which leaf? Tulasi. Tulasi has been told. Offer Tulasi, at least a flower or a fruit, at least water. How? Bhaktya, with Bhaktya prayachati, with devotion. Tad aham bhakti upahritam, with complete devotion offered to me. Then I will accept. Ashnami priyatatmanam. Because he has a pure consciousness and is giving me with complete love, then I will accept. What is he giving? Patram, a leaf. It seems there is a subtle meaning for this verse. Patram, existence. Your existence. Patram. Pushpam, your sweet consciousness. Pushpam, flower. Phalam, that means the fruits of your activities. Toyam, your tears. What? Your tears. Actually, it's a beautiful meaning. Patram, the substratum on which you are holding your grahasthashram. This verse is for the grahasthas, non-nirapeksha devotees. This is for parinishta devotees. There are three types of devotees: sanishta, parinishta, and nirapeksha, or kevala bhaktas. Kevala bhaktas, they are not interested even in the grahasthashram. They are just doing all bhakti activities. Parinishta devotees, they perform the grahasthashram, but they are actually not interested in the varnashrama. That is secondary. They perform the activities to set an example. Their only interest, their level is equal to nirapeksha. Nirapeksha is not at all interested in any varnashrama. Nirapeksha, though not interested, but performs just for setting an example. Sanishta has attachment to the activity, though not attachment to the results, but attachment to the activity. Parinishta, not interested in the activity, but does it just to set an example. So this is the verse for Parinishta devotee. So the platform on which he is standing, that means he may be a Brahmana, he may be a Kshatriya, he may be a Vaishya, he may be a Shudra. Platform. In that platform, he has this sweet consciousness, flower, offering the flower of the consciousness, giving the results of the fruits. And toyam, that soft heart or the melted heart where the tears flow for Krishna. Now see how beautiful is this verse. So parinishta devotees. This verse is for parinishta devotees. Not sanishta also, not nirapeksha also, because he's not performing only any activity, but he's performing all devotional activities. But there he doesn't have any fruits with him. Now sannyasis, what fruits they have? They don't have any fruits of their actions. What they will offer? But they are performing 9 processes of devotional service, they are doing. Parinishta is also doing. What is the extra thing with Parinishta? The fruits of that activity. Got the verse? Any doubts in this? You can raise the hand. Because the subtle meaning to understand is little bit. So what is the meaning of Patram? Not. So subtle meaning, the platform in which Chaturu Varnam or Chaturu Ashram you are there. The platform. The flower, your sweet heart, consciousness. The fruit of your activities. Toyam, the melted heart. Narayan, read the Narayana. Where are you?
I'm here.
Ah.
Patram pushpam phalam soyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti paratam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, in order to achieve a permanent blissful abode for eternal happiness. The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy and can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor without any kind of qualification. The only qualification required in this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Lord. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. The process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one, therefore, can be barred from Krishna consciousness because it is so easy and universal. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by this simple method and thus attain the highest perfectional life of eternity, bliss, and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non devotee. He is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self sufficient, and yet he accepts the offering of his devotees in an exchange of love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more emphatically that bhakti or devotional service is the only means to achieve Krishna. No other condition, such as becoming a brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never causal. The process is eternal. It is a direct connection in service to the absolute whole. Here, Lord Krishna, having established that
Just
he is
wait
the
1 minute.
only
1 minute
enjoyer.
wait. Narayana wait. So we know how Krishna, for Krishna, Duryodhana had again Chappan Bhoga. And there Vidurani is giving Chilka. Vidur comes and says, what is this? He says, I accept anything with love. Pride, with pride, somebody is offering, will not accept. That is why yesterday Bhuta Shuddhi, which I told, that is a very important thing which has to be chanted. I forgot to put yesterday, I'll put it. So Krishna can accept the peel of banana. He prefers it. He prefers the bear of Shabri, that is Jhuta bear. He prefers that. Even if he offer Chappan Bhoga and show some advertisement, I did Chappan Bhoga. This is, you keep it with you. You only eat. So it is love, with the love. How much love we have. With pride, if we do something, Krishna does not accept. Okay. Read.
Here, Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primeval Lord, and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what type of sacrifices he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he avoids. He avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked. Thus, meat, fish, and eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such things as offerings, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flower, and water be given to him. And he says, of this offering, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs. Vegetable, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper foods for human being and are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus, we cannot be acting on the level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. In the third chapter, verse 13, Sri Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in life and release from the clutches of the material entanglement. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are eating only sin. In other words, it is in other words, their is simply deepening their involvement in the complexity of material nature.
Your
But
voice,
preparing nice, simple vegetables, offering them before the picture or deity Krishna, and
your voice is not coming properly. I think connectivity is not there. Haribol, connectivity is
and
not
praying
there.
for am I audible now?
No, just wait. From here, Parthabandi Prabhu, you read. Parthabandi Prabhu.
But preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture or deity of Lord Krishna, and going down and praying for him to accept such a humble offering, enable one to advance steadily in life, to purify the body, and to create fine brain tissues which will lead to clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food since he already possesses everything that he, yet he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with love for Krishna. The impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad Gita. To them, it is either a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. But in actuality, Krishna, the supreme Godhead, has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of any other. This is what it means to say that Krishna is absolute. Lacking senses, he could hardly be considered full in all opulences. In the seventh chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entity into material nature. This is done by his looking upon material nature. And so, in this instance, Krishna's hearing the devotee's word of love in offering foodstuff is wholly identical with his eating and actual tasting. This point should be emphasized because of this absolute position. His hearing is wholly identical with his eating and taste. only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand that the supreme absolute truth can eat food and enjoy it.
Okay, mute your phone. So Krishna, here Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing that Krishna is asking, Krishna eats, that is why he's asking. Krishna is a person, that is why he's asking. He's asking water, he's asking fruit, he's asking leaves, he's asking pushpa, that means he's a person. So, person has a personality, has personal activities also. And Krishna says, not just restrict yourself to 4, whatever you are eating, or somebody can offer 1 apple, just give some water, keep some tulasi, offer some flowers, and then have variety items for himself. Then Krishna says, Yat karoshi, whatever you eat, just give it to me. Just see how Krishna is so humble. Will we ask somebody like this? Oh, Vandana Mataji, what you made, please give me, I also want. We'll feel shy to ask because our ego comes in. But Krishna is saying, he's telling, whatever you eat, please give me. Anoraniya Mahatma Mahinam. You can become lowest of the lowest. Whatever activity you are doing, Yat karoshi, yadashnashi. Yat karoshi, whatever activity you are doing, do it for me. Yadashnashi, whatever you are eating, give it to me. Yat juhoshi dadasiyat. Whatever sacrifice you are doing, give it to me. Yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. So whatever you are giving, give it to me. Whatever austerity you are performing, give it to me. Yat karoshi, yadashnashi, yat juhoshi dadasiyat. Yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Yat karoshi, yadashnashi, yat juhoshi dadasiyat. Yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Madarpanam. Do it for me. Give it to me. That is why while cooking food for Krishna, while preparing bhoga, one should chant the holy name of Krishna. One's consciousness should be in Krishna. Actually, cooking for Krishna is done only by Srimati Radharani. We have Malamutra Sharira, with all the Sharira, what we can do for Krishna. Krishna is Adokshaja. But still, if a devotee wants to cook for Krishna, he considers himself just some spoon or ladle in the hands of the servants of Srimati Radharani. With that consciousness, with that humility, one should cook for Krishna. And while cooking, one should chant the holy name, or can chant or recite some verses, recite Gopi Geet, recite some songs for Krishna. The consciousness should be in Krishna. Madarpanam. Okay, Vandana Mataji, read the verse. Purport.
Yad karoshi yad adnyas, yad karoshi yad asya,
Yadashnasi.
Yad karoshi yadyasni.
Yadashnasi.
Yadasnyasi.
Yadash.
Yadas.
Are shani. Sani. Sha. Yadashnasi.
Yadashnasi. Yadashnasi. Yajjohoshi dadasi.
Nyasi is not there. Nyasi is not there. Yadashnasi.
Nasi. Yad Shreyasi. Sorry, Mataji.
Yat karoshi yadashnasi.
Yad karoshi yadasnyasi.
Yadashnasi.
Yadadnyasi.
Yadashnasi.
Yad.
Why are you saying English? Why are you saying that English one? Yadashnasi.
Yad Shreyasi.
See? Yadashnasi. Repeat now what I am saying. Don't look at the book. Yadashnasi.
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 Yadash
Yadash
nasi.
nasi.
Yadashnasi.
Yadashnasi.
Ah.
Yadashnas. Yad
Ah. Yadashnasi.
Yadashnasi.
Yat karo. You don't look at the book. Just look at me. Yat karoshi yadashnasi.
Yad karoshi.
Yadash
Yadnashi.
yadashnasi.
Yadashnasi.
Yajjuhosh. Don't look at the book.
Yajja.
Yajjuhoshi.
Yajjuhoshi.
Dadasi yat.
Dadasi yad.
Yat tapasyasi.
Yad tapassisi.
Kaunteya.
Kaunteya.
Tat kurushva.
Tat kurushva.
Madarpanam.
Madarpanam.
Yat karoshi yadashnasi.
Yad karoshi yadadnasi.
Yadashnasi.
Yadadnasi.
You don't know how to pronounce sha. Sha.
Sha yadnasi.
Sha you don't know. What shatkara sha? Yadashnasi.
Yadashnasi.
Bas. Okay, read it. Now whatever you do, whatever you eat,
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Purport. Thus, it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstance. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together. And Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the remnants of food stuff offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me. And this is called Archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra around his bee, he is surely the greatest meditator and greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
says, give it to me. Krishna says. Who is talking there? Abhi ban gaya. What ban gaya? Vishwambar Tiwari Prabhu. You are not supposed to talk. Yes, abhi ban gaya. Kya ban gaya? Mandir ban raha hai. So naturally, I am going to ask donation to all of you. Temple construction Tani is going on. Please give donation. So what we should have for that? Surplus money, isn't it? So a devotee does not waste the money. Devotee is very, very careful while spending the money. He should be. He should always keep 1/3 at least. It is said, Rupa Goswami says 50% should be kept for propagation of Krishna consciousness. If not 50%, at least 25%. Not that much, at least 10%. Not that much, at least 1%. If not that much, better don't go for any work. Because the money which comes for a devotee is actually Lakshmi. Lakshmi is coming to be utilized in the service of Krishna. Okay, next verse. Shubha Shubha Falairaivam Mokshase Karbhavandanaih Sanyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupaishyasi. Shubha Shubha Falairaivam Shubha Shubha Falairaivam Mokshase Karbhavandanaih Sanyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupaishyasi. See, this sha, sa is very important. When Sha comes, say Sha. When Sa comes, say Sa. Don't mix up everything. That is why this Varnamala, I, Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Na, that is all very important. Pronunciation of every syllable. So Shubha, 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 Falai Revan. This person is so Krishna conscious, who Parinishta Bhakta. Any Nirapeksha Bhakta is only performing the 9 process of devotional service. Parinishta Bhakta is also performing 9 process of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archana Vandanam, Dasyam, Satyam, Atma Nivedanam. While performing that, he is not bothered about what is auspicious, what is inauspicious. He does not find a muhurta to offer food to Krishna. Every muhurta is wonderful. He is not finding whether this proper time or not to chant the holy name. The time when he is chanting the holy name, it is auspicious. He is not thinking, oh, can I chant 3 days in a month for the ladies? He doesn't think of all these things. Oh, some death is there in some family. He doesn't think of all these things, whether it is Shubha or Ashubha, to chant, to read Bhagavad Gita. In every circumstances, Shravanam is always pure, is always transcendental. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Activities related with Krishna is beyond Shubha, Ashubha. Beyond auspicious and inauspicious. Because it is divine activity. It is transcendental. That is why Shubha, Shubha Falai Revam. Moksha se karma bandhanaihi. He is free from all the bondage of work. Parinishta Bhakta. He is not indebted to anyone. He just does it as a matter of duty. We have all this verse in 3rd chapter where Krishna says to Arjuna, for a self-realized person, 3.17 speaks, there is no work. Remember or forgot? 3.17, Krishna says, a self-realized person has no duty. Arjuna must be very happy. Oh, no duty. That is why I was telling, I'll run away from the battlefield. But then Krishna says he performs it as a matter of duty, just to teach others. Yadada chariti shreshtas tattadeve tarojanaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. Just to teach others, he is perfect. He is not attached to an activity. There is a lot of difference between Sanishta and Parinishta. Sanishta is attached to the activity. Parinishta is not attached. He is attached to Krishna. He is attached to give all the fruits to Krishna. Even Sanishta also gives, but that small contamination is attachment to a particular type of work. Okay. Now, Vaishnav Gaur Prabhu, please read whole thing. Vaishnav Gaur Prabhu, unmute yourself. Unmute. Unmute yourself.
Krishna.
So much of disturbance.
माता जी आरती कर रहे हैं और नरसिंह आरती कर रहे हैं.
Okay, you don't read now. Then Kanchan Mishra Mataji, mute your phone. Yeah.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. सुभाषु फले रैवम मोक्ष से कर्म बंधन संन्यास योग युक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामु पैश्यसि.
Very good. Read. Read translation, purport, everything. Fatafat.
In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction is called Yukta. The technical term is Yukta Vairagya. This is further explained by Rupa Goswami as follows. Anasaktya Vishyan Yathartham Upayujatah
I will read
Upayujantah.
the verse, you will see the anasaktasya vishyan vitarham upayunjatah nirbandha krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya muchyate. This is yukta vairagya. Anasaktasya vishyan. He doesn't have any asakti. That is why yatharham upayunjatah. Nirbandha krishna sambandhe. Doesn't have any attachment. Krishna sambandhe. Gives it everything to Krishna. That person is Yukta Vairagi. In 6th chapter, purport, you are having this. Who is a Yukta Vairagi? And who is a Falgu Vairagi? He sees everything as Prapancha. Okay. Read.
Rupa Goswami says that as long as we are in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting. Therefore, if actions are performed and the fruits are given to Krishna, then that is called Yukta Vairagya. Actually situated in renunciation, such activities clear the mirror of the mind. And as the actor gradually makes progress in spiritual realization, he becomes completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, at the end, he becomes liberated, and this liberation is also specified. By this liberation, he does not become one with the Brahmajyoti, but rather enters into the planets of Supreme Lord. It is clearly mentioned here, Mam Upeshyadi. He comes to me, back home, back to Godhead. There are 5 different stages of liberation, and here it is specified that the devotee who has always lived his lifetime here under the direction of the Supreme Lord, as stated, has evolved to the point where he can, after quitting this body, go back to Godhead and engage directly in the association of Supreme Lord. Anyone who has no interest but to dedicate his life to the service of the Lord is actually a sannyasi. Such a person always thinks of himself as an eternal servant, dependent on the supreme will of the Lord. As such, whatever he does it for the benefit of the Lord. Whatever action he performs it as service to the Lord. He does not give serious attention to the fruitive activities or prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedas. For ordinary person, it is obligatory to execute the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedas. But although a pure devotee who is completely engaged in the service of the Lord may sometimes appear to go against the prescribed Vedic duties, actually it is not so. It is said, therefore, by Vaishnava authorities that even the most intelligent person cannot understand the plans and activities of a pure devotee. The exact word for Tantra, Vyakta, Kriya, Mudra,
Tantra is not there. Tantra Vakya Kriya Mutra Vikyeha Na Bhujayaha. Tantra means there. Vakya, their statement. Kriya, Mutra, their activities. Kriya, their actions. Mutra. Vikyeha Na Bhujayaha. Okay, read it.
Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 23.39. A person who is thus always engaged in the service of the Lord or is always thinking and planning how to serve the Lord is to be considered completely liberated at present. And in the future, his going back home, back to Godhead is guaranteed. He is above all materialistic criticism, just as Krishna is above all criticism. Hare Krishna.
Now Krishna says, I am equal to everyone. At the same time, the devotee is my friend. He is in me, I am in him. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya मयि तेषु चाप्यहम् समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि तेषु चाप्यहम्. Krishna Dharma Prabhu, read the verse. Just 1 minute, wait. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I am equal to everyone. I don't have any hate to anybody. Na me dveshosti. I don't hate anyone. Na priya. I don't have any attachment also to anybody. Nobody is dear to me also. Nobody is, I don't hate anyone. Ye bhajanti tu maam bhaktya. But for the devotee, something is special. Whoever is completely serving me, Krishna says, Maite teshu chapya. Maite teshu. He is in me, I am in him. That means Krishna knows only devotees. Others and all, Krishna is not directly dealing with them. Krishna is dealing only with the devotees. Sadhavo hridayam mayyam sadhunam hridayam tuham mad anyattena janati. They don't know anybody except me. Mad anyattena janati. Naham tebhyo managapi. Even I don't know anybody except them. Just see this powerful statement. Sadhavo hridayam mayyam. Sadhus are there in my heart. Sadhunam hridayam tuham. I am there in their heart. Mad anyattena janati. They don't know anybody except me. Even the same thing is there from this side also, Krishna says. Naham tebhyo managapi. This verse is the second line. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. That means Krishna does not deal with anybody except devotees. Only to the devotees Krishna has personal dealings. With others, Krishna's energies are there. They will deal. They will deal with others. So Krishna says, I'm not bothered. I'm very neutral to everyone. But for the devotees, I take special care. So there is a story behind this. Akbar told to Birbal, your Lord doesn't have any work or what. All the time he comes. Birbal was quiet, waited for the opportunity to speak. So after 3 months, Akbar had some newborn child. So they were taking the child in the boat. At that time, Birbal took the child and threw in the water. Akbar was very furious. Akbar at the time did not show any anger, but immediately jumped in anxiety and brought the baby back. So furious, shouted at me. Birbal told, settle down, calm, calm. See, you had so many people before you, standing before you. Even I am there. You could have ordered me. Why did you jump? You could have ordered anyone. Why did you jump? Because you did not wait even to waste a second for giving the order and see the execution of the order. You yourself jumped. When Gajendra was in difficulty, Krishna did not send any demigod. So Krishna does not waste the time in sending someone. Krishna himself comes. When the devotees are in problem, Krishna is there. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna personally takes care of the devotees. Yoga Kshemam Pahamyam. Gadi Prabhu, please read the verse.
Mataji. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshokti na priyah ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayite teshu chapyaham.
Give a pause, na. Ye
Okay.
bhajanti tu mam bhaktya.
Okay.
Give us pause, na. You're just running about.
Yes, Mataji. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshasti na priyah ye bhajanti
Dveshyosti, dveshyosti.
dveshosti. Dveshosti na priyah ye bhajanti tu ma bhaktya mayi teshu chapyaham. Chapyaham.
Maite teshu.
Maite teshu chapyaham.
Okay.
Sammoham sarva bhuteshu.
1 minute. Why? Radhi Prabhu, you only do everything.
I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend. He is in me, and I am also a friend of him. Or cut. One may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone, no one is his special friend, then why does he take a special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental service? But this is not discrimination. It is natural. Any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. The Lord claims that every living entity, in whatever form, is his son. And so he provides everyone with generous supply of necessities of life. He is just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. But for his devotees, he gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna consciousness, and therefore they are always transcendently situated in Krishna. The very phrase Krishna consciousness suggests that those who are in such consciousness are living transcendentalists situated in. The Lord says distinctly, "My, they are in me." Naturally, as a result, the Lord is also in them. This is reciprocal. This also explains the words "Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tams tataiva bhajami aham."
This is 4.34. Why are you struggling with this verse?
English,
when you
Mataji.
studied, 1 minute. You should have memorized till now this verse.
Yes,
Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tataiva bhajamaham. That means you are not studying properly. You are just time pass. The verses are there. Try to memorize the verses. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. To the extent a person comes to me, I reciprocate with them. These are all the very important verses. You should have the most important verses of Srila Prabhupada quoted. The book is there, yellow color book. That important verses of Bhagavad Gita is there. You have 108 verses of important verses of Bhagavad Gita. I'll put that 108 verses.
Okay.
Try to memorize those verses with respective chapters.
Okay.
Mataji, where it is?
Wait, I have already put those verses in the group also. 108 verses with my audio recording. I think I had done that.
No, Mataji. I'm asking ye yatha mam prapadyante. Full verse is this?
You search that. Don't ask me. You should know how to search the verses also. You see behind and search. Don't ask me all these questions. That means you have not studied the first unit. Better join again Bhakti Shastra. If you're not studying the verses properly, what is the use? Just giving exam and then afterwards forget it. Read properly. Okay.
Whoever surrenders unto me, proportionately I take care of him. This transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotee are conscious. When a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified. And at the same time, the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity glitter. And when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. The Lord is a diamond. And so this combination is very nice. Living entities in pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes the devotee of his devotees. If a reciprocal relationship is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personalist philosophy. In the impersonal philosophy, there is no reciprocation between the Supreme and the living entity. But in the personalist philosophy is there. The example is often given that the Lord is like a desire tree, and whatever one wants from this desire tree, the Lord supplies. But here the explanation is more complete. The Lord is here stated to be partial to the devotees. This is the manifestation of the Lord's special mercy to the devotee. The Lord's reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to the transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotees function. Devotional service to the Lord is not an activity of this material world. It is a part of spiritual world, where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate. Hare Krishna.
So bhakti means love. Love is the reciprocation between the devotee and Krishna. And there is always a eternal competition between Krishna and the devotees. Who serves whom the best? This Ye Yatha Mam Prapadyante, this fourth chapter, 11th verse, speaks about to the extent a person comes to me. There, the explanation goes, impersonalists go to Lord, Mayavadis also go to Lord. There are Shunyavadis also going to Lord. But their dealings and Krishna's dealings with them is different. But to the devotees, there is very, very personal touch. Impersonal is also approach. Everybody is approaching actually Lord only. But they don't know they are approaching Lord. That is why with them the dealings are different. Shunyavadis are always in frustration. Who is giving this frustration? Krishna only gives. But then how he gives? Through the agencies. But special touch is given to the devotees. Now, 30th verse, where Krishna says, even suppose some mistake has happened by the devotees, that downfall should not be compared to the downfall of the materialistic people. If some mistake is there, some offenses has been done, then naturally some reaction will be there. But that reaction is not compared to the reactions which is faced by the materialistic people. Api chet suduracharo bhajate mamananya bhav sadureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. I consider him a sadhu only. That is why never find a fault with the devotees. Even if there is a fault, Krishna can take care. Krishna takes care. Api chet suduracharo. Some sudurachara has, some durachari has happened, some wrong dealings has happened. Apiche sudurachari. Bhajate mam anardya bhak. But he is unalloyed devotee of Krishna. Some mistake has happened. Sadhureva samantavya. I consider him a sadhu only. Samyak vyavasito hi saha. Apiche suduracharo. Bhajate mam ananya bhak. Sadhureva samantavya. Samyak vyavasito hi saha. Mantavya, this word is very important. I consider him as sadhu. So who are we to find a fault in such a person? Even a small downfall is there. We have seen in our historical evidences also. Some small fall down or some mistake happened, even with the purest devotees also. But that downfall is not considered to be the downfall of like a materialistic people. Like Parikshit Maharaj, when he is unnoticed by the Rishi. Now there are tark vitark in that also. The Parikshit Maharaj who had put the snake. Now let us take that only, because if I tell that it will be more confusing for you. Okay, Parikshit Maharaj is what? There is a sage who is not noticing. He puts a dead snake. The son of the sage says, Shamik Rishi says, you will be bitten by a snake within the 7 days. What did Parikshit Maharaj do? He did not cry. It was not a downfall. In fact, he was hearing Bhagavatam. So small mistakes happen. Krishna says, I consider him a sadhu only. Okay. Vaishnava Gaur Prabhu, please read everything.
Hare Krishna. Api chet suduracharo bhajte mamananya bhav sadhurev samantavya samyak stito hi sa. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. The word so durachara used in this verse is very significant, and we should understand it properly. When a living entity is conditioned, he has two kinds of activities. One is conditional and the other is constitutional. As for protecting the body or abiding by the rules of society and state, certainly there are different activities, even for the devotees, in connection with that conditional life. And such activities are called conditional. Besides these, the living entity who is fully conscious of his spiritual nature and is engaged in Krishna consciousness or the devotional service of the Lord has activities which are called transcendental. Such activities are performed in his constitutional position, and they are technically called devotional service. Now, in the conditioned state, sometimes devotional service and the conditional service in relation to the body will parallel one another. But then again, sometimes these activities becomes opposed to one another. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything that could disrupt his wholesome condition. He knows that perfection in his activities depends on his progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may be seen that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some act which may be taken as most abominable, socially or politically. But such a temporary fall down does not disqualify him. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that if a person falls down but is wholeheartedly engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, the Lord, being situated within his heart, purifies him and excuses him from that abomination. The material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of the Lord sometimes become ensnared. But Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. Therefore, the process of devotional service is always a success. No one should deride a devotee for some accidental fall down from the ideal path. For, as explained in the next verse, such occasional fall downs will be stopped in due course as soon as a devotee is completely situated in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a person who is situated in Krishna consciousness and is engaged with determination in the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, should be considered to be in the transcendental position. Even if by chance or accident he is found to have fallen, he should be considered to be in the transcendental position, even if by chance or accident he is found to have fallen. The word sadhurev, he is saintly, are very emphatic. They are a warning to the non-devotees that because of an accidental fall down, a devotee should not be derided. He should still be considered saintly, even if he has accidentally fallen down. And the word mantavya is still more emphatic. If one does not follow this rule and derides a devotee for his accidental fall down, then one is disobeying the order of the Supreme Lord. The only qualification of a devotee is to be unflinchingly and exclusively engaged in devotional service. In the Narsimha Puran, the following statement is given. Bhagavati cha hara ananya cheta rasha malino api virajate manasya nahi sasa kalusha chabbe kadachit tamir para bhavatam upaiti chandraha. Meaning is that even if one fully engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is sometimes found engaged in abominable activities, these activities should be considered to be like the spots that resemble the mark of a rabbit on the moon. Such spots do not become an impediment to the diffusion of moonlight. Similarly, the accidental fall down of a devotee from the path of saintly character does not make him abominable. On the other hand, one should not misunderstand that a devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable ways. This verse only refers to an accident due to the strong power of material connections. Devotional service is more or less a declaration of war against the illusory energy. As long as one is not strong enough to fight the illusory energy, they may be accidental fall downs. But when one is strong enough, he is no longer subjected to such fall downs, as previously explained. No one should take advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. If he does not improve in his character by devotional service, then it is to be understood that he is not a high devotee. Hare Krishna.
Namno balad yasya hi pap buddhihi. The seventh Nam Aprad. Namno balad yasya hi pap buddhihi. On the strength of the holy name, one should not commit offenses. On the strength of this verse, apichit sudurachar, vachate mam ananya bhak. I am ananya bhak, ananya devotee. I can do whatever. No, we should be very careful. Accidental fall down, Krishna forgives. Intentional fall down or intentional mistakes, Krishna will not forgive. Okay. What will happen to such a person who has this accidental fall down? Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shanti nigacchati kaunteya patijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. This is another verse which has to be chanted when the Shankha is blown. After the first Shankha is blown, at the time Naham Vipro Nachanarapati. The last Shankha when you blow, Ananya Shantayanto Mam Yejana Paripasati Tesham Nityabhyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyam Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma Shashvashanti Nikivachati Kaunteya Pratijani Name Bhakta Pranashyati. My devotees will never perish. Oh Kaunteya, you tell to everyone. Because if Krishna declares, sadhus have some doubt. Because sometimes Krishna can go away from his words. But when his devotees will say something, then Krishna will prove the words of the devotees to be true. That is why Krishna's name is Satyavrata. If the devotees give words, Krishna will see that it is proven true. Like Bhishma Pitama told, I will also see how Krishna breaks his vow. And Krishna proved the statement of Bhishma Pitama to be true. He became Chakrapani. But when he gave the words, I am not going to take part in the war, he went against his words. That is why sadhus have a big question mark. Whose words to be believed? Devotees' words or Krishna's words? Srila Prabhupada declared to the whole world. At the time, nothing was there with us. You know, I have so many centers functioning. People are going to the Govindas and having wonderful prasadam. Nothing was there that time. 40 rupees in the hand. Srila Prabhupada's words were proven to be true by Krishna. So Krishna tells to Arjuna, oh Arjuna, see, people don't believe me. You tell. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranasya. My devotees will never perish. So this is my humble request. Please memorize these two shlokas. In the end, when you are blowing the Shankha, remember these two. Ananya Shintayantoma, where Yogakshema Vahamyam is there. Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma, where this last phrase, Name Bhakta Pranashyati, this will give a complete confidence. Krishna is always there with us. Even though so many impediments, let it come, not a problem. What Kunti Maharani says, let it come. Let all the difficulties come again and again, again and again. You are there with me, Krishna. So this confidence will come if you go on chanting these verses. Okay? Who will read? Gadadhar Prabhu, please read verse and unmute.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Naam Jiyo. Shipram bhavati dharmatma sasvat shantim nigachati.
Shashwat. Shashwat.
Sasvat shantim.
Sha is not there. Shashwat.
Sasvat shantim nigachati. Kaunteya pratijanihi Name Bhaktyaha, Name Bhaktah Pranashti.
Pranashati. Very good.
He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. For perpetual Prabhupada. This should not be misunderstood in this different truth. In the 7th chapter, the Lord says that one who is engaged in mischievous activities cannot become a devotee of the Lord. One who is not a devotee of the Lord has no good qualifications whatsoever. The question remains then, how can a person engage in abominable activities, either by accident or by intention, be a pure devotee? This question may just be raised. The miscreants are stated in the 7th chapter who never come to the devotional service of Lord have no good qualifications, as in stated in the Srimad Bhagavad. Generally, a devotee who is engaged in nine kinds of devotional activities is engaged in the process of cleansing all material contamination from the heart. He puts the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, and all sinful contaminations are naturally washed away. Continuous thinking of the Supreme Lord makes him pure by nature. According to the Vedas, there is a certain regulation that if one falls down from his exalted position, he has to undergo certain ritualistic process to purify himself. But here there is no such conditions, because the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee, due to remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare should be continued without stoppage. This will protect the devotee from all accidental fall downs. He will thus remain perpetually free from all material contamination. Hare Krishna. Sanatnam to all of you.
Mami Parthe Pashitya. Yepis papayo nayah. Striyo Veshasata Shudras. Yepi Yanti Param Katim. Mami Parthe Pashitya. Yepis papayo nayah. Striyo Veshasata Shudras. Yepi Yanti Param Gatim. Papayoni. Stree body is a papayoni. Prabhupada is explaining this verse. Some of the brahmacharis were looking at Mataji and were laughing. Papayoni. Mataji was very calm. Prabhupada said, are you not affected? They are teasing you. She said, I'm not the body and soul. If this understanding comes, then there's nothing like this is Stree body or Purusha body. Because every body is technically Stree body only. Prakriti itself is enjoyed by Krishna. Now, in between last year, there was a lot of argument. Matajis also should be Diksha Guru, female Diksha. Many of them approached me. Mataji, what is your view? I told Mosama Patita Prabhu Na Paite Ara. I don't know. But already Krishna has declared Striyo Vaishyas Tata Shudras. They will attain me, no doubt. But there are certain regulations for every body. If the Shastras have forbidden to give that authority to a woman to give Diksha, one has to just follow that. So, but there are people who have argued and all these things. But at least when they asked me, I just told, I don't have any answer, neither I don't want to indulge in this. I know the best position which a woman can have is mother. She is mother even for a Diksha Guru. What? Because every Diksha Guru is also born from the womb of the mother only. So what can be the highest position for a woman? Mother. She is a mother. That is enough. Mami Parthe Pashitya. Whoever has taken shelter of me. No? They can be born in a lower birth, Stree, Vaishya, Shudra. But they can attain me, Param Gatim, just by surrendering unto me sincerely, performing devotional service sincerely. It's very important verse. Mam hi partha vipashitya. Yepi syu papayonaya. Api. Api means even though they may be born in a lower category. Yepi syu papayonaya. Papayoni. Striyo vaishastata shutras. Tepi yanti param gatim. They will attain the highest destination, Krishna says. Krishna Dharma Prabhu, please read the words purport. Are you there, Prabhu? Yes. Unmute yourself, Krishna Dharma Prabhu. Okay, Yasharth, can you do? Yasharth. Okay, Vandana Mataji, you only do. Or wait, Vishwambar Prabhu, can you do? Vishwambar.
Hare Krishna Mataji. माम ही पार्थ व्यापाशित्य येपि क्यूव पाप योनय वैश्या तथा शूद्रास्तेपि यान्ति परां गतिम्. O son of Krishna, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Sudras, workers, can attain the supreme destination. Purpose. It is clearly declared here by the Supreme Lord that in devotional service, there is no distinction between the lower and higher classes of people. In the material conception of life, there are such divisions. But for a person engaged in transcendental devotional service to the Lord, there are not. Everyone is eligible for the supreme destination. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.18, it is stated that even the lowest, who are called Chandals, dog-eaters, can be purified by association with a pure devotee. Therefore, devotional service and the guidance of a pure devotee are so strong that there is no discrimination between the lower and higher classes of men. Anyone can take to it. The most simple man taking shelter of the pure devotee can be purified by proper guidance. According to the different modes of material nature, men are classified in the mode of goodness, Brahmanas, the mode of passion, Kshatriyas or administrator, the mixed mode of passion and ignorance, Vaishyas or merchants, and the mode of ignorance, Shudras or workers. Those lower than them are called Chandals, and they are born in sinful families. Generally, the association of those born in sinful families is not accepted by the higher classes. But the process of devotional service is so strong that the pure devotee of the Supreme Lord can enable people of all the lower classes to attain the highest perfection of life. This is possible only when one takes shelter of Krishna, as indicated here by the word Vyapashritya. One has to take shelter completely of Krishna. Then one can become much greater than great Jnanis and Yogis. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So then Krishna wants to say, if such Papa Yonis also gets a higher destination, then what to speak about Brahmanas and Rajarishis? Krishna is saying to Arjuna, see, you are a Rajarishi. When I have given such facilities even to Papa Yoni, just by taking shelter, they can attain highest destination. Then what to speak about the Brahmanas and the righteous kings, the devotees? They are sure to attain me. 33rd verse speaks about it. Kim punarbrahmana punya bhakta rajarshyas tatha anityam sukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Kim punarbrahmana punya bhakta rajarshayas tatha. See how I'm reading the verse. Develop this habit. Don't just see the English and that. One word, give justification. Justify each word. Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajarshayas tatha. The sa also should be pronounced. Read as half. Anityam sukham lokam imam prapya bhajasva mam. Yashar, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam. Yes, Mataji. Kim punarbrahmana punya bhaktya rajrishyas tatha
Bhaktya is not there.
anityam
Bhakta.
bhakta rajrishyas tatha anityam
Rajarshayas tatha.
bhakta rajrishyas tatha anityam ashukham lokam imam prapya bhajasva mam. Should I read the translation also, Mataji?
Yes.
How much more this so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engaging in loving service unto me. Purport. In this material world, there are classification of people, but after all, this world is not a happy place for anyone. It is clearly stated here, Anityam Asukham Lokam. This world is temporary and full of miseries, not habitable for any sane gentleman. This world is declared by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be temporary and full of miseries. Some philosophers, especially Mayavadi philosophers, say that this world is false. But we can understand from Bhagavad Gita that world is not false, it is temporary. There is a difference between temporary and false. This world is temporary, but there is another world which is eternal. The world is miserable, but the other world is eternal and blissful. Arjuna was born in a saintly royal family. To him also the Lord, take to my devotional service and come quickly back to Godhead, back home. No one should remain in this temporary world, full as it is with miseries. Everyone should attach himself to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that he can be eternally happy. The devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the only process by which all problems of all classes of men can be solved. Everyone should therefore take Krishna consciousness and make his life perfect. Hare Krishna.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mama Janmani Shari. Bhavatad Bhakti Rahitapita. Devotee is not afraid to take birth, but devotee is only afraid of losing devotional service. That is why Ishopadisha speaks, Om Kutosmara Kutam Smara Kutosmara Kutam Smara. Always remember whatever I have done with Krishna, please engage me in devotional service. The last verse of 9th chapter, Krishna Dharma Prabhu, please be ready. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mami vaishyasi yuktvevam atmanam matparayana. Now this verse is there in the 18th chapter also. 2 times Krishna has told this verse. But there, Satyam, I am taking the vrata, that my devotees will come back to me. Here Krishna says, they will come back to me. Again, 2 times Krishna has declared, Manmana bhava matbhakto, Manmana. They have always kept me in their consciousness. Manmana, their mind is always absorbed in me. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayoho, Ambarish Maharaj says. Remember? In the 2nd chapter, Purport, Ambarish Maharaj's verses are put. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayoho. Let my mind be always absorbed in Krishna. If mind is absorbed, then automatically senses will be absorbed. If mind is not in Krishna, then senses cannot function for Krishna service. Mad Bhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, Become my worshipper. Yaji means worshipper. Mam namaskuru. Pay obeisances to me. Mam eva ishyasi. Mam eva eshyasi. Eshyasi means you'll come back to me. You will come. Yuktvevam atmanam matparayana. Yuktvevam. You'll be completely absorbed in me. Atmanam, yourself. Because you are matparayana devotee. Matparayana. Matpara devotee. If you see second chapter, open second chapter, Matpara devotee. Madhvacharya gives, you see the first, second chapter, open second chapter, 61st verse. Who is a Matpara devotee? Matpara. That has been given. Where Baldev Vidyabhushan gives a very beautiful explanation of Matpara. Mad bhakti prabhavena sarva indriya vijaya purvika. Swatma drishti sulabheti bhava. This is Matpara bhakta. Matpara. Mad bhakti prabhavena, because of the influence of the devotional service. Did you memorize this line, Matpara? Your homework is, you should know the meaning of Matpara. You should know the meaning of Samadhi. Write down. Samyag adhyate asmin atma tattva yathatmayam. As a Bhakti Shastri student, you should know. Somebody asked you, what is Samadhi? You know what is Samadhi? Sitting under a tree and just absorbing yourself. No. Understanding our relationship with Krishna. Samadhi means not digging yourself inside, not burying yourself. In the same way, what is Matpara? Mad bhakti prabhavena, because of the influence of my devotional service. Mad bhakti prabhavena, because of devotional service. Sarva indriya vijaya purvika. I have conquered the senses. My senses are completely conquered. Swatma drishti sulabheti bhavaha. Swatma drishti. I am able to understand my constitutional position. That I am eternally servant of Krishna. This is a very important Matpara. This Matpara is very important word. Even at midnight, I'll call you. After 2 days, I may call anybody and ask you, what is Matpara? Mataji, I am sleeping. The next time, don't attend the class. You should know what is Matpara. You should know what is Samadhi. And don't think I'm joking. I can call anyone. Because as such, I don't know. I'm not getting sleep nowadays. So I have to do some time pass in the night. So don't keep your phones in the silence. I will call you. Maybe 2 days later or 3 days later, I will ask, Hans Rupi Prabhu, what is Matpara? Mataji, I'm so tired. I go to office in the morning. Stop your office work. You are already 60 years. Learn this. Matpara. Mad bhakti prabhavena. That is why here it said Matparayana. He is completely devoted to me. Matpara, Matparayana. So in this way, his senses are completely subjugated in serving Krishna. That is why Swatma Drishti is able to see that he is only servant. Swatma Drishti. Sulabheti Bhava. Sulabheti means it is so easy to understand one's constitutional position. So what the jnanis are trying to understand, I'm not the body, I'm soul. Just because of devotional service, he can surpass jnani. Not just understanding I'm not the body, I'm the soul, but understanding that I'm servant of Krishna. Krishna Dharma Prabhu.
Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. Sometimes unscrupulous commentators distort the meaning of what is clearly stated here, that all devotional service should be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Unfortunately, unscrupulous commentators divert the mind of the reader to that which is not at all feasible. Such commentators do not know that there is no difference between Krishna's mind and Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, his mind, and he himself are one and absolute. It is stated in the Korma Purana as it is quoted by the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami in his Anubhashya comments on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, 5th chapter, Adi Leela, verses 41 to 48. Deha Dehi विवेदो विवेदोयम neshware vidyate kavachit. This means that there is no difference in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, between himself and his body. But because of the commentators do not know this science of Krishna, they hide Krishna and divide his personality from his mind or from his body. Although this is sheer ignorance of the science of Krishna, some men make profit out of misleading people. There are some who are demonic. They also think of Krishna, but enviously, just like King Kamsa, Krishna's uncle, he was also thinking of Krishna always, but he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. That is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna continuously. What is that favorable cultivation? It is to learn from a bona fide teacher. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have several times explained that his body is not material, but is eternal blissful knowledge. This kind of talk about Krishna will help one become a devotee. Understanding Krishna otherwise from the wrong source will prove fruitless. One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, primeval form of Krishna with conviction in his heart that Krishna is the Supreme. He should engage himself in worship. There are hundreds of thousands of temples in India for the worship of Krishna, and a devotional service is practiced there. When such practice is made, one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower his head before the deity and engage his mind, his body, his activities, everything. That will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. This will help one transfer to Krishna Loka. One should not be deviated by unscrupulous commentators. One must engage in the 9 different process of devotional service, beginning with the hearing and chanting about Krishna. Pure devotional service is the highest achievement of society. The 7th and 8th chapters of Bhagavad Gita have explained pure devotional service to the Lord that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and fruitive activities. Those who are not purely sanctified may be attracted by different features of the Lord, like the impersonal Brahma Jyotir and the localized Paramatma. But a pure devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. There is a beautiful poem about Krishna in which it is clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall from standard. Still, he should be considered superior to all other philosophers and yogis. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be perfectly saintly person. His accidental, non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. He will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to the ninth part of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the matter of the most confidential knowledge.
So here Krishna is giving the final verdict. Yes. Manmanabha matbhakto matyaji mam namaskuru mami vaishyasi tvevam atmanam parayana. He will attain me. He will surely attain me. So this is Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga. So tomorrow onwards we'll start 10th chapter, which I'm planning to complete in 3 days. 14 verses every day. So my request to you is read the purports and take. And some where it is very long purport, there this explanation will be there. 14 verses will be done tomorrow. 5th verse purport, try to read. Read everything. So it will be like when it is going on, it will be very easy to grasp. Okay, any doubts? Any doubts?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a question related to that Krishna's body is spiritual and eternal, right? So when he actually leaves the body, I think he from his body also blood also comes, right? So when that person receives an arrow,
Yeah. Krishna's blood is also eternal.
okay.
So that when the arrows are pierced by Bhishma, blood comes. Krishna is not crying. Krishna is experiencing Madhurya Rasa. The gopis sometimes out of ecstatic love bite Krishna. At that time, sometimes the blood comes. Krishna is remembering the gopis of Vrindavan, just see in the Kurukshetra. So that was a plan by Krishna only. So Krishna is always in ecstasy. Okay. Kanchan Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, what is the difference between Parinistha and Nirpeksha?
Parinishta performs the duty as a matter of, just performs the activity as a matter of duty. Nirapeksha is the sannyasis. The sannyasis means those who are not attached to any of the duty, nor performing also. Parinishta comes in the level of grahasthas, but these grahasthas are actually on the level of nirapeksha. Just for teaching others, perform.
Okay, Mataji.
Nirapeksha is no such duty. He has given up everything.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Mataji, what is the meaning of samadhi? You said it is not that.
Second chapter, 42nd verse. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya prastachetasam.
Okay.
In that samadhi, by Nirukta dictionary is given. Samyagadite asmin atma tattva yatatmaya. Open. Second chapter open. Second chapter is actually the sum and bonum of everything. If second chapter is studied properly, other all chapters becomes easy. If second chapter is not studied properly, second chapter 44th verse. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya pratachetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhav na vidyate. Samadhi is the only. Samyag adhyate asmin atmatattve tatmaya. Sam adi. Sam adi. Sam means completely. Adi means adhyate. Meditate upon. What? Atma tattva. What is my constitutional position? Atma tattva. Yathatme. Okay. That is why second chapter has to be studied nicely. What happens is we just do it as a formality. Don't do that. Get absorbed in the studies nicely. Just don't study 2 days before the exam. Just don't try to pass out the Bhakti Shastri. Better is fail 10 times, not a problem. 10 times study more. Nowadays, this type of courses have come 1 year, 1 year. When we started our Bhakti Shastri, you will not believe I have not studied more than 8th chapter. Still, our teacher is in 8th chapter only. 16 years, sorry, how many years before it started? 14 years before it started. Just imagine, one chapter was taught in such a way. Taught means we have to be we should memorize. If you don't memorize, there is no, you cannot cross. That means we are still in 8th chapter. Sometimes I remember, what is this? We are still in 8th chapter. We have not gone even to 18th chapter. And today we are asked to teach 18 chapters. Why? Just because the 2nd chapter became the foundation. 2nd chapter is studied nicely. 9th chapter is studied nicely. Then you can cross anything. Yes, Gadadhar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, and Pranam. Mataji, please explain. You told Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. One more time, please, Mataji.
Where you take prasadam? In the leaf, na? That means you should have a base. So your base is one of the ashrama or one of the varna. That is your base. In that base, you have a soft heart. That is a pure consciousness. You cannot be hard-hearted. In that base, you perform various duties. You get some results. And that ecstatic emotions are compared to toyam.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. We stop here. It's a long class, it happened. Tomorrow also 7:30, please join. Hare. Maybe we can make it 7:45 tomorrow. 7:45. Okay. If there is some change in the timing, I will let you know. But read all the purport before the